Hello, dear sisters. I hope you are excited for our devotional today. Today we are finishing our series on Ruth. We will talk about a very important path that Ruth walked on. Ruth walked the way of honor. You can see this very clear in chapters 2 and 3 in the book of Ruth. Ruth honored Naomi. She was gleaning grains that fell on the ground for her and her mother-in-law. And guess which field she worked in? Boaz's. He was the man who would marry her and change her history. The interesting thing is that even through serving her mother-in-law as a beggar, she did not think that she was being exploited, but she was glad to serve. She was benign. What we can see clearly in this example is that when we honor others, we attract God's blessing. We live in a generation that does not honor, and so we lose God's blessing. Children do not honor their parents, women do not honor their husband, and vice versa. Because for the world, that is foolish. Ruth probably heard these sentences. Ruth, you are young. You have your whole life ahead of you. Leave your old mother-in-law behind. Live your life. Be happy. But she decided to honor her mother-in-law despite all the unlikely prospect for her future. I want to say to you, the single women, if you want a blessed marriage, learn to honor those that God places in your life before you get married. People like your parents, leaders, pastors, when you walk according to this principle, you will not have to run after a good marriage. God will bring Boaz to you at the right time. The honor that is given to others precedes the honor you will receive. Ruth followed all the direction that her mother-in-law gave her in chapter 3, verse 5. And it seemed crazy, but she did it all the same, and the blessing came. Often disrespect and rebellion are not expressed with words, but with attitudes. You do not follow directions because you think your way is always the best. You don't show honor by supporting your leader, but instead you are always complaining. Let's read Mark chapter 6, verse 1 to 5. Jesus left there and went to his hometown, accompanied by his disciples. When the Sabbath came, he began to teach in the synagogue, and many who heard him were amazed. Where did this man get these things? They asked. What's this wisdom that has been given him? What are these remarkable miracles he is performing? Isn't this the carpenter? Isn't this Mary's son and the brother of James, Joseph, Judas, and Simon? Aren't his sisters here with us? And they took offense at him. Jesus said to them, a prophet is not without honor except in his own town, among his relatives, and in his own home. He could not do any miracles there, except lay his hands on a few sick people and heal them. We read that the Lord came, but they did not give him honor by recognizing him as the Messiah, and all because it did not fit with what they wanted and expected from Messiah. Jesus' explanation for not being able to perform miracles in Nazareth was that they did not honor him. He was a prophet without honor. Honor means appreciation, high esteem, respect, and recognition. The virus of rebellion enters women without them noticing. Today, honor is seen as a sign of foolishness and ignorance. Women are seen as foolish when honoring their husbands. They think that honoring a leader is mere sweet talk and flattery. Because of this, they decide to ignore and even despise their leaders. Peter tells us to honor everyone and that we should consider everyone as superior to ourselves. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 17 says, honor all men, love the brotherhood, fear God, honor the king. My dear sisters, Ruth was completely restored according to chapter 4, verse 13 to 22. So Boaz took Ruth and she became his wife. When he made love to her, the Lord enabled her to conceive, and she gave birth to a son. The women said to Naomi, "Praise be to the Lord, who this day has not left you without a guardian redeemer. May he become famous throughout Israel. He will renew your life and sustain you in your old age. For your daughter-in-law, who loves you and who is better to you than 7 sons, has given him birth." Then Naomi took the child in her arms and cared for him. The women living there said, "Naomi has a son," and they named him Obed. He was the father of Jesse, the father of David. Ruth had the honor of being part of the lineage of the King of Kings. Her descendants brought forth King Jesus. Dear ones, Ruth had a history of suffering. She was a Moabite, went through situations of misery and loss. However, everything changed because she took the path of nobility. She had no regrets about the past. She abandoned the old ways and was a woman of covenant and honor. She found a rescuer who changed her destiny. You also have a Redeemer, Jesus. He came to rescue, to change your destiny. No matter what your past is, God has a great future for you, with fruit in abundance. I invite you today to walk in the same path Ruth walked. There is a brighter future ahead of you.